That's right. Jack, right here. Obviously, missed out on fighting on the last London card. I think it was like right around that same time. So, are you viewing this as like making up for missed opportunity? You know, and all that from your last fight.
Yeah, it's nice to be local again. Not have to go to New York or Vegas. Nice little 3-hour drive, and we're here. So, yeah, I feel like if I could have picked between this one and the last one, I'd have picked this one anyway. Big pay-per-view card, massive main event, massive co-main. So I think a lot more eyes will be on this one. And yeah, it's good to be back in London.
In your leading into the last fight, I feel like that was a lot of the questions, like why are you not fighting on London? You know, undefeated guy, like fighting a high-ranked opponent. Coming off of that, is it almost freeing that now you don't have to answer all these questions? Like, are you the future of this country? Like, why aren't you fighting in London? Now you just get to focus on this fight and who you're fighting.
Yeah, exactly that. You know, it's nice to be undefeated and all that, but the pressure does amount a little bit. It feels like I've got a bit of a monkey off my back, and I can go out there now and just focus on this fight. And I know what it's like to lose. I know I've experienced it. I've felt the heartbreak and all that of it, but you know, life goes on, and it's nice to be able to just focus on this fight now and go out there and get after it.
Sean Brady said something similar when he was going into his Bilal Muhammad fight, that like the thoughts of like title shots and the O in their record, like it didn't weigh on it. He didn't realize how much it weighed on him until the fight was over. Did it, in hindsight, was it in the back of your mind a lot, this undefeated record?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of like all anyone wants to talk about when you're undefeated is what's next. Where do you win this fight? Where you gonna go? Do you want, how long till you want to fight for the belt? Blah blah blah. It's kind of like you don't necessarily feel it at the time, but when you look back, that's all it is constantly all fight week. And obviously, it'd be great to have won half fight and still be undefeated. But by picking up a loss, you almost have to take a step back and look at what went wrong and what can be done better. And it's a good learning experience. And yeah, it just feels a little bit less. Don't want to say stressful, but it just feels a little bit less like of a drain on me this week. Not having to talk about being undefeated and how, like, you know, do I worry about losing and do I feel the pressure and all that. It's just nice to just go out there and worry about the fight.
You're obviously fighting Makwan, a guy who at one point he was the undefeated guy coming up, and now he's not lost a bunch in a row lately, but he's like, I think, like 4 or 5. So what are you expecting from him when you guys lock up on Saturday?
I expect him to bring what he always brings. You know, if you let him in the fight and give him an opportunity, he'll take it and put you away. He's a dangerous guy in areas. But I just expect myself, as long as I go out there and perform how I know I can, to kind of outclass him in all areas. No, I'm not underestimating. I know he's coming off a loss, but you know, I've seen him be 2 rounds down and pull out the choke and out of nowhere. That's his go-to, and if he gets it, he'll take it with both hands, literally. So I know what he brings to the table, but I'm confident that I can neutralize him.
Well, kind of going off of that, his submission skills, obviously he comes from, like, he has a wrestling and submission background. You have a lot of submissions yourself. Historically in the past, when you get to submission artists fighting, it can kind of turn into a striking matchup. So how would you rate your striking compared to him, even though, because he does have that amateur background?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a decent little boxing style on the feet, but I think in terms of, you know, variety of tools, I think I kind of outmatch him there. I think I'm a lot more well-rounded in terms of striking IQ. I've been boxing and kickboxing since 6 years of age. I don't necessarily show it all the time, but I'm well-versed on the feet. I've got really good Thai and boxing coaches, and I think if it turns into a pure striking match, then I win that one every day. But I don't expect it to. I do expect him to shoot and try and wrestle me.
And last one for me, how do you see the main event playing out between Leon and Kamaru?
Yeah, I think I obviously got to back Leon. This card wouldn't be happening if Leon didn't do what he did in August. But I think it'd be a close fight. I don't think it'd be as one-sided as the last one in terms of Usman dominating, but I think it'll be a close fight. It'll be down to the wire, but I'm confident Leon will pull it out.
Just over here. You're coming into this week, obviously a lot heavier than you have before.
You're calling me fat?
No, not of course. What was the decision behind the move to featherweight?
The last probably 3 or 4 weight cuts have been really tough. I mean, there's no secret. I always look like death warmed up on the scale. And my old man and my other coaches have probably been at me for about 12, 18 months to consider the move. And it's easy to forget about a tough weight cut when you're winning all the time. And I think the fact that I lost, I felt like I don't want to blame the loss on the weight cut because that'd be unfair to my opponent, but I felt like I didn't carry into what I do in the gym into the cage. So I went up and got a DEXA scan, a BMR scan, a bone density scan, and they kind of looked at me stupid as if to say, you keep cutting all this weight, something's going to go wrong. And I feel like I've said this about 100 times, but if something happens in the cage, I know what I signed up for. But if something drastic happens in the bath or in the sauna beforehand, then that's not what I signed up for. And, I just thought, let's give it a go. I didn't want to kind of jump into it and just be like, right, I'll just go up a weight and not cut any weight. I want to do it properly. Spent a good 4 months before Christmas, putting on some lean mass and some muscle, and then really dialed in my S&C and my nutrition the last 10 weeks with Paul Reed to make sure that I'm going in here as a legit featherweight, then not a blown up bantamweight.
Yeah, and how do you think not having to cut all that weight? How do you think that's going to impact your performance?
I just think I'll be able to perform in there on the night how I do in the gym. I'll still be cutting a little bit of weight. It's not like I'm walking around 146 now. I'm still gonna have a water cut. I'm still gonna be able to put on a little bit of weight going into the fight. But I just feel like I'll be much more energized. I feel like the weight cut, especially like if I look back at my fight last March, I won that third round on just guts and determination. I had no feeling in my arms, in my legs, and my coach said I can do 10 5-minute rounds if I go to in the gym. It's not an issue. So to be that tired at the end of a 3-round fight is a weird feeling, and I just think my engine at this weight, I'll be able to go at the pace all day, and I think that'll obviously just be another tool to add to my basket.
What do you make of the featherweight division?
It's equally as stacked as bantamweight. I think there's not an easy fight. Even the guys outside of the rankings, just below, they all got capabilities of going on and being top contenders. And then you look at the top 15, just like a bantamweight, it's full of sharks and full of killers and no easy fights. But that's what the UFC is. I know I signed up for when I signed the contract with the UFC that I'm not going to get an easy fight now for the rest of my career as long as I stay here. So, but I'm used to that. I've been fighting tough guys all my career. So it's nothing new. And I'm a martial artist, and that's the type of challenge we want. We don't want to go in there and have gimmies. We want to go in there and prove that we can compete with the best.
And of course, Alexander Volkanovski is going to be obviously taking on Yair Rodriguez next to unify the title. How do you see that going down?
It's wild because if you'd asked me before the fight, I'd say Volk comfortably, but Yair looked that good against Emmett. It's kind of like it's thrown a bit of a spanner in the work because Volk looked pretty much unbeatable at featherweight. He looked pretty much unbeatable at lightweight as well. Then Yair pulls on a performance like that. I think they're doing the right thing by making that fight next because it's a real clash of styles. And I think anyone who kind of stands and trades with Rodriguez could be in for a long night. But if there's anyone that could do it, it's probably Volk.
Thank you.
Gotcha. On the lead up to this fight, obviously you've been able to focus more on improving on things that you might think you have to improve on instead of cutting weight. How refreshing has that been for you to be able to focus on improving your game instead of kind of having to focus on the weight cut as much?
Yeah, it's been probably the best. Well, it's been the best camp I've had in a long time. Like you say, it's made me fall in love with training again. It's made me fall in love with the sport again because I haven't had to spend 8 weeks just pretty much cutting weight. I've been able to focus on my skills, getting sharp, technical work, focusing on what my opponent's going to bring to the table, where sometimes I had to scrap a few of those sessions to jump on the runner and the bike and cut weight. So it's been nice, and I've thoroughly enjoyed this camp, which is not something I can always say down at bantamweight.
Jack, over here. I just wanted to ask you about the process of changing weight with the UFC. Is that something that's simple to do?
Yeah, pretty much. Text my manager Graham, said, "Can you let him know I'm going to featherweight?" And that was that pretty much. It didn't you know more off. It was, I think the UFC are kind of all for guys, not cutting massive amount of weights and going in there alpha. I think the alpha you go in, the better fight that you're going to have and the better you're going to perform. So there was no pushback or nothing like that. It was just a case of let them know I'm going up a weight.
Just secondly, I wanted to ask about you're built up. So you built into a ranking at bantamweight and you've got all this credit behind you. Moving up to featherweight, do you feel like you still have a lot of that good stead with you, or does it sort of feel like you're going to have to sort of prove yourself again in the new division?
I think people will obviously look at me as being a ranked bantamweight and think he's obviously legit to get that ranking, but at the same time, I have kind of got to start again, and it is a different weight class against different guys, who oppose different threats. So I have got to I've kind of got to start all over, but I got no problem doing that. I think a good win Saturday anyway. Makwan's beat some good level guys. Been into it with some good level guys. So if I can get a good win there, then I think it'll kind of fast track me up a little bit.
Jack, hi mate. Featherweight's populated with a lot of UK talent now. We saw Nathaniel Wood and Larone's fight unfortunately fall through. Are you happy to fight other UK fighters, or would you rather fight fighters from outside Great Britain?
I'm happy to fight anyone, anyway, as long as I got a couple of weeks' notice to let the missus know that I'm going to be gone for a week. So yeah, anyone. I mean, look, I don't like to pick and choose fights. It's kind of like I've never ever gone to UFC and been like, I don't like that fight, can we have someone else? It's kind of, you tell me when I'm fighting, tell me when I'm fighting them, and I'll sign the contract and be there.
And has the darts scandal affected you mentally this week?
Listen, I will not have my name tarnished. It was a legit win, and we'll get to the bottom of it next week, let me tell you.
Thanks, mate.
All good?